We're live.
I'm Jay. This is RandJ Reviews. This is our second video. This is Once Upon a Time, Unforgiven, Season 4, Episode 13.
Yep.
New channel, RandJ Reviews. Rob, why don't you tell us real quick?
Well,
What did you think of the episode?
I liked it. I liked it. The only thing I'm not a fan of is how it's like always tying back to Snow and Charming, but I'm more on board with the Queens of Darkness now, particularly Maleficent and Ursula. I'm definitely rooting for them. I like them. I think I like the actresses a lot. It was solid. I think every character who was needed, Regina, Emma, like they did well. The queens did good too. Rumple was less involved, which made me happy because I'm not a fan of him at all. And overall, I would say it's a solid episode with writing. Backstory was a little boring-ish, I guess, the flashback, but at the same time, it was interesting.
Yeah, well, the flashbacks ultimately just led up to the reveal at the end. But did you say Maleficent and Ursula?
Cruella.
Cruella. Okay. Whew. I thought you said Ursula. I was gonna say we're gonna
No,
totally disagree.
no. Cruella, Ursula, her tentacles are a distraction to me.
Goofy. Yeah.
Yeah, there was the scene in the beginning where Cruella and Ursula are talking to Belle, and like you see the tentacle like come out of Ursula's jacket, and it goes into the back, and it takes the box
Yes.
that has the baby rattle in it, which also looks relatively demonic, might I add. And the I can't get on board with the CGI rendering of Ursula. For anyone who has seen The Little Mermaid, we all know that Ursula's an octopus woman, but she transforms into Vanessa, who looks like Ariel. Like, I kind of would have said maybe go Vanessa. Like, find a girl with long black hair with a venomous gaze. Like, go that route instead of having the tentacles. You know, like they're distracting.
Yeah, I think they thought it was going to be way cooler than it actually turned out.
Yeah.
I think they were very confident in themselves, and it just didn't work. But I think just the character in itself doesn't work. I don't think you said you're more sold on the trilogy after this episode of villains we have here.
I should say the duo. I should say the duo.
Okay, the duo. I still am not. I think they made it more interesting from a story perspective towards the end of the episode with that reveal, which we'll get to. However, when it comes to intimidating villains, I just don't buy them. We haven't been given a reason yet to buy them. They still look like goofballs. They still look like the Three Stooges. I said that last week. I'm saying that this week. They look like Three Stooges. Tonight's episode, Snow and Prince Charming. Yeah, maybe the Three Stooges came back towards the end. They still were made to look like Stooges though when they left them in the tent situation. They didn't come off as intimidating.
But they're not super intimidating yet. Like whatever Maleficent has planned for this reveal that we'll talk about in a minute, like maybe that'll do it. When they're trying to get to the Tree of Wisdom, if I remember that's what it was called,
Right.
there was a scene where Maleficent became a dragon and she fried all the guards, and I was like, oh, that's like Disney evil Maleficent right there. Like that's not like the sympathetic Maleficent from Maleficent. That's not the Maleficent who lost the battle in the second episode of season 1 against Evil Queen. Like that's just evil, mistress of all evil, right there. Like doesn't give a shit about the people in front of her. She knows where she wants to go, and she just fries the people. Like I thought that was good. Like we need more just like move out of my way. I want what I want. Like we need her to be abrupt and evil queen-like. Remember in the pilot, like Regina came off as evil. Like we just knew she was evil. We need her to be more like that.
Right. Speaking of Regina, I'm very scared for the direction they're about to go with Regina becoming their spy and going to be joining the villains. Maybe
It won't work. It won't work.
I would like to think that, but just them teasing Regina going back, I don't think, just from a story standpoint, I think it's about to. I think she's going to do some things that her character wouldn't necessarily do. I'm scared. That's all I'm saying. I'm scared for the direction that they're about to take with this character.
Regina's reformed pretty much. I mean, we definitely saw the reformation with with the whole Frozen arc with her and Marion and whatnot, and even in the beginning with her versus Selena. I definitely think she's a reformed character. She's not evil. I mean, but she has this connection with these women that we haven't even really seen yet. That I can see her being able to trick them. I don't want her to regress to being evil because, we saw Pinocchio come back today. Pinocchio. He doesn't have a storybook name. And when she's getting frustrated that because Pinocchio can't remember anymore, she gets angry. Now, the second Regina's angry, it's like, Regina's angry, she's evil queen, run away, run away, run away. She's angry. But then she apologizes. She gets upset. Like, she feels she regrets her actions. So I can't see her completely regressing. It's the Emma thing I'm more worried about than Regina regressing.
I'm not too worried about that. I think that's just ultimately going to be a red herring.
Well, it was teased in the promo that she'll turn evil. It's teased here that she could be evil. So, I don't know.
I think the fact that everyone around her is lying to her, I think is ultimately what's going to play into the character teasing it. I think that's all it's ever going to be, just maybe she'll tease it for a couple episodes, and we'll have a few probably stupid moments with her character teasing it. Like I said, I'm kind of scared of where they're about to go with Regina. I'm kind of scared of where they're about to go with Emma, too. A few shaky things in the works, it seems. And I'm going to say including the trio of characters. Even though there seems to be a plan for this trio, they are still not coming off as the evil trio that they should be. And Rumble's their leader, so that's fine. That has some kind of backing to it, but I don't know.
It's funny. Even though I didn't like Peter Pan, he actually came off as more malicious than.
Yeah. Every villain in the past has.
Even Ingrid, who was in the end a good character, kind of came off as being intimidating.
Yeah, we said the whole time that Ingrid didn't seem evil; she just seemed misunderstood. But she was still more intimidating than.
Her misunderstanding because she acted upon her own instinct. She acted in what she thought was best because she hated people who hated her pretty much. So I don't know. I like Ingrid. I liked Ingrid. I miss Elizabeth Mitchell. I miss Elsa and Anna. But that's because I'm a Frozen fan.
There were two scenes that really jumped out at me this week, and two scenes I'm going to remember going forward.
What were they?
One of those scenes being Geppetto and Regina. That was pretty strong. Why isn't Geppetto in the show more often? That was.
When she forgave him, or when he forgave her for being mean to Pinocchio. Oh, that was great. I like that.
Absolutely, great exchange. It shows you how much potential they had in the actual town. I mean, we see Geppetto, Jiminy Cricket, even Ruby and Granny. A lot of those. And Leroy, the dwarfs and everything. A lot of these characters, yeah, they were in there for a period of time, and they're still kind of background. Right. There's still so much untapped potential with a lot of these characters. And Geppetto delivered a really well-executed scene here.
The guy, unfortunately, I don't know, the actor who plays Marco or Geppetto's. He was great. Like. He's Pinocchio's dad, but he's so old, he's kind of like the granddad. But he protected Pinocchio in like that fatherly way, and like you like him. Pinocchio's annoying, but I have issues with a lot of children on shows. When they become central focus of the plot, they take away from the adult. In my opinion, they take away from like the core characters. But Geppetto was very, very good, and how Regina was forgiven by him, and then he gave her Augustus with bikes and stuff, or his old supplies, I should say. Yeah,
no, that was a very well executed scene. Like I said, something that I'm going to remember going forward, and really a big reason why I want at least half a season to be focused back on Storybrooke and the interaction in Storybrooke and all the other characters we have in there. Because there's still so much potential that we only saw so many of these characters for really the first 2 seasons, and then they just kind of disappeared.
Yeah, it's funny you say that because if you think about it, with season 1, there was Regina, and then Cora was also introduced there as well. And then besides Captain Hook, we didn't really get too many new characters
And
in
two,
season two either.
Frankenstein, which was
Yeah,
let's forget
let's not talk
about
about that. Uh, so, like, that was really good because it was just like you have your core, you have your secondary, and like that's it. And then Peter Pan and Zelina came in, so they had to get a bunch of new characters for that. And then Frozen, the focus became Elsa, Anna, and Ingrid, which I'm okay with. I like that part of the show quite a bit. But that's interesting you say that because the first two seasons really were just our core cast, focusing on the issues of Storybrooke, not focusing on threats to Storybrooke.
Yes, and we I think we need to see more of an emphasis on the town. I would even be okay with there not being. This would actually probably be the perfect time because these three aren't intimidating. But having maybe a less intimidating villain, a smaller type villain, not as threatening, but just more town. I think that would be welcome. I really think that'd be a great. There's still stories to tell with the town. I think they've given up on so much of what can make the show better. But that's just my opinion there. But I think this scene really showed it in Geppetto.
You said you had two scenes. You said you had two scenes. What was the other one?
The second, excuse me. The second scene was the towards the end with Snow White giving her speech, and I hate the character of Snow White. And I think
I like Snow White. I don't like Mary Margaret.
Okay, I can get that. I can roll with that. However, I think this was a very well done scene too. Just the writing, particularly, was excellent, and the voiceover.
Yeah, that was cool.
We see the other scenes happening with the voiceover going on. That was something I'm going to take away from this episode too. That was, again, very well executed.
That was very much like the season finale of 3 because it had Rumple narrating, or Emma I think it was Rumple narrating the. There was their wedding vows where it showed like all the people happy,
Right.
And then it has the life shattering scene where we see Maid Marian and Regina's heartbreaks. But it is very similar to that. So sorry, just referencing other stuff.
Right. Yeah, that's fine. Yeah, I just wanted to bring up those two scenes because really those are the two scenes I'm going to take away from this episode. Other than that, this episode was pretty forgettable. It didn't do too much more other than introduce Maleficent and introduce her.
It brought Maleficent back, obviously. That was the whole point of it. And it kind of showed her gripe with Snow White and the Charming. And it also, there was the whole thing with the Tree of Wisdom, and when they touch it, it gets repelled back. And Charming and Snow White get repelled back from it. And Maleficent tells Snow White she's pregnant, which it makes sense. I mean, she has to have been pregnant at some point. And they say that your child is the reason that you can't get the answer. And now this is just interesting. I don't know if you agree or disagree with me. Snow White is not a good ruler at all, and I have two reasons to support that. Maleficent pretty much told her, like, if we can stop the dark curse, we can stop it, but you might have to do something you'll regret. And Snow White was like, I'd rather have my kid be good than stop a curse that will destroy the kingdom.
Right.
And I thought, okay, that's the second time she's done that.
Yeah, that's not very heroic.
It's not. Now, if we remember in season 3, they thought the only way to defeat Zelina was to go to Emma. And how did they go to Emma? They cast the dark. Snow White cast the dark curse.
Right.
So that's 2 times she's allowed acts of evil to happen to protect her own children, not protect her people, protect her children.
Right. Yep.
I know there's a little thing where mothers, do whatever they can for their children, but she's a queen. She really is a queen at this point. And I found it interesting because I don't think she's a good ruler at all.
Where's their baby?
What?
Where's their baby?
Oh, Neil. Well, yeah, exactly. We don't even see Neil. We saw him in the beginning of the episode where he was asleep. That was about it.
Yeah, they're really relaxed with him. There's this new evil threat in the town that they don't trust, and yeah, let's leave the baby at home.
Yeah, or let's give the baby to Cinderella, which actually I wouldn't mind seeing Cinderella, especially since I just got to see the movie Cinderella, and I like that.
more potential, untapped potential in the town that they're not living up.
I think Cinderella would be just. I mean, not even bringing in like the evil stepmother. I just think Cinderella would be a fun character to have back again because I like her. But yeah, my overall thought with that is Snow White is not. She's a heroine. She's the main character of the show, but she's not a good ruler. She's allowed two curses to happen. One she intentionally cast, and one she just let happen because she was so worried about her child. But it's nature versus nurture. She could easily have raised Emma to not be evil or to do good. You know. There was one other thought I had on that, but I forgot. So it's not so much about Snow White, but I loved just some of the acting with Cruella de Vil when she's talking to Belle, or even when she was talking to Regina. Just Victoria Smurfit, Victoria. I think she's a good actress, and I definitely think she pulled Cruella off really, really well. Like
you can tell
her interactions.
You can tell she's having so much fun.
Yeah.
You can tell she's having a blast with the role. She's completely just letting the role take her.
Oh yeah, exactly. Which I think is which speaks volumes to it. You definitely could see that with Georgina Hagg with Elsa, to bring Elsa back into it. There are definitely characters that even Rebecca Mader when she played Zelina, like you definitely can see like when they get to be these iconic characters that they really do let themselves have fun with it. But maybe Jennifer Goodwin kind of acts like Mary Margaret because sometimes Mary Margaret's very boring.
Yeah, and see, my problem isn't the actresses at all.
No, they're fine.
I think she's doing a great job with Cruella. Maleficent, I think she's doing okay. You know, I don't think it's called for much more than what she's giving. You know, I think she's doing a fine job.
She has, you know how, just not to cut you off, but you know how when we saw Ingrid, how I said Ingrid, she talks with an icy tone to her voice.
Right, and that's how Maleficent kind of delivers as well.
Which is a good thing. And if you've ever seen Sleeping Beauty, she gets angry. She keeps her composure almost the whole time, but she's ice. It's ice with her voice. Right.
That's a good point. She is delivering it very much akin to what we come to expect from the character. Yeah, she's doing fine. I really, the two of them are great. Ursula, I don't think it's her fault. I really just think the writing for these characters is really just what's killing it. Like I keep saying, Three Stooges.
Ursula has two problems. It's her costume. It's weird. The CGI tentacles don't help, and it's out of context of the Disney story, which I think is a problem because a lot of these, you know, they're from the fairy tales, but Ursula's a Disney character. Ursula's not like the original Sea Witch. She's Disney, and I don't know. I just think it could have been better. Ursula has a backstory coming up in a couple weeks with Ariel coming back, so I think maybe with Ariel it might maybe give you a jump to like Ursula, or make us even like Ursula better.
They made Selena Green. If they made Selena Green, I think they should have went all out and had Ursula purple. I mean, really, if you're going to do this, go all out with that. I mean, obviously they have the CGI tentacles. I think they should have made Ursula purple.
You know, not to rant, but you know, in the Little Mermaid movie, Ursula could transform into a person at will, and she didn't use the tentacles. So, like, what if we just had her, like, in the water with tentacles, but on land without the CGI tentacles? You know what I mean? Like, it could have been done. Like, maybe it would have added to her character if it wasn't there. Make her not so goofy.
Yeah, absolutely. It's just, so far, I don't think the trio of characters is working. I think it's 100% on the writing there. It just hasn't clicked yet. They're not intimidating. They're made to look like stooges.
I will say that the CGI of Maleficent's birth was pretty cool, though.
Yeah. Again, that was fine in itself too.
Like, yeah, I mean, I can see a bit of Stooges. I mean, Cruella in 101 Dalmatians is fun. Like, she's evil, but she's fun. So I think I can see that. Like, but when it gets towards the end of 101 Dalmatians, she really wants the puppies. She's very much determined, but in the beginning, she's kind of la-di-da. You know,
right.
like a goofball.
Very relaxed. Yeah.
Yeah. You know, she talks about how much she loves fur coats, and she's smoking, and she even like tries to pet Pongo.
Right.
So I rewatched a little bit of the movie today when I was looking for a picture of it. That's why I remember that so well. But my point being is maybe Cruella will go from being kind of a goofball to being serious because Maleficent's already serious. So.
Right. Yeah, we'll have to see. Hopefully, the writing starts to shift a little bit when it comes to the trio. Hopefully, they're taken more, like you said, in a serious manner. We do have one question though. What did you think of the kiss between Belle and Will Scarlet? Real quick.
I thought it was random.
Weird, right? I never finished Wonderland, so I could be completely out of touch here. But it seemed like he did really love the Red
Red
Queen.
Queen. Yeah, I've never watched Wonderland. I watched the one episode with Cora in it because I like Cora a lot. I thought she was a great villain. Um, I don't know. I was like, all right, he's kissing her. I kind of rolled my eyes actually when I saw it. I didn't think it was a necessity. Oh,
Yeah, very
um,
forced.
yeah, but it broke Rumple's heart. You could definitely tell Robert Carlyle like didn't have to do any voicing, any
Yeah,
actual physical or
right,
audible acting. Oh, there we go, audible. You know, to talk.
right.
I mean, Robert Carlyle is just a good actor in himself anyway. Oh, I know what I wanted to say. Hook. We didn't talk about him, about Hook, and how he has a secret again.
Yeah, his character's just not learning. But see, this is another instance of the writing. It's not making much sense. You would think that his character would have learned by now. And now it's just tiresome seeing the same thing over and over.
Yeah, like I get it when his heart was in Rumple's hand, like he had to lie, like he had
Right,
no choice.
right,
I
yeah,
get it. I get it in the beginning of season two, and even almost all of season two, he was on no one trusted him. Even in the beginning of season three, people were like, "Do we trust him? Do we not trust him? Like what is him?
yeah.
What is he?" But then after season three, part one ended, it's like he's a good guy. He's Emma's boyfriend now. He's a good guy. Be honest. Like just tell her, because it's gonna come back and bite you.
Yeah, and even we could even give it some slack when it came to Selena with the lips thing. We could give it
Yeah.
some slack there. However,
Yeah,
season
Zelina,
4, come on.
threatened him. Zelina threatened to hurt
Yeah,
Henry. He thought he was doing what was best, but Ursula like never went up to him and said, "I'll break Emma's neck with my CGI tentacles."
yeah. I don't know. It really just again confusing writing on the part of the character. I don't know.
All right, and so to wrap this up, we did to say the big reveal of this episode. Maleficent has a gripe with Snow White. What's the gripe, Joe?
That Snow White apparently stopped Maleficent's baby from being born, which is insanely dark for once upon a time.
Jafar is the father. Who is the father? Now we're gonna have a boyfriend come in.
Yeah, it's gonna become this
Oh,
Maury situation.
oh my God! I bet it's gonna be King Stefan. I just realized that it's probably gonna be King Stefan from a movie. Oh,
Oh no.
that'll be the only. That was like her. Like in Sleeping Beauty, she never had a love interest. Obviously, in Intent, she's a villain. She doesn't need one. But in Maleficent, the movie, her only potential love interest was King Stefan, who was Aurora's dad. Unless they bring another villain in, like, but it wouldn't be Jafar because Jafar is a genie trapped in a lamp. But it's totally King Stefan. It's
Oh
totally King
God.
Stefan. We'll find
Yeah.
out.
Well, imagine they never bring up who the father is.
Well, they have to. I mean,
I could see them skipping that. I really can.
well,
They
maybe
need.
they'll skip it so that way they can avoid the references to Maleficent. But it's like, oh my God, it has to be him.
We'll see. Hopefully, if it is, they get a better actor than who played the guy in the movie.
Well, he was terrible.
Yeah, he was terrible.
He was so terrible.
Yeah.
Well, either way, it brought Maleficent back. It was standard Once Upon a Time good.
Right.
I would say Trio needs a little bit more work. I'm definitely on board with the duo. I'm still having some trouble with Ursula overall, but I would say it's a good one. Now, I hope you guys all enjoyed the first RandJ reviews of R.
Once upon a time.
So who are you? I'm R.
I misheard you.
Okay.
I'm Jay.
This is RandJ Reviews, and we're done. We're out of here, guys. Bye.